Hello and welcome to Painting of the Week. This is Painting of the Week number 2. This week's painting is called Oaken Glow, and it is a painting of an oak tree, and we have some glowing effect in the leaves from the sunlight. I painted this tree at Minnehaha Park in Minneapolis. I painted it obviously in the fall when the leaves were turning colors, but this was towards the end of the fall color season. This was one of the last trees to go, as they say, and you can kind of see here in the background I painted these trees just very simply because there wasn't much going on left with color anymore there. And then this has a lot of iridescent and metallic paint in it, which doesn't really look like glitter, but it hits the light a little differently. It's got a faint sort of a shimmering effect, and we can see that in these areas here. There's a little bit of ivory iridescent mixed in with the yellow here. Then we've got some bronze and gold mixed in these leaves towards the back. And then also a little bit of iridescent in these green leaves. So there's the main tree right here. There's another tree behind it, and then there's this little tree right below it, which hadn't turned color yet. There's a lot of fallen leaves on the ground, and you can see here's more of that ivory and yellow mix. You know, the ground was getting a lot of dry leaves on it, and the background is painted with casein paint, which is a water-based, they call it like a milk paint because they use milk protein in the binder, similar to Elmer's glue actually. The casein paint dries to a matte finish, whereas the oil paint dries to a glossier finish, and that gives you a textural contrast between this and this. And then also sometimes I let the casein paint run a little when I'm doing that first background there. So here you can see a little bit of that effect. It's framed in a 2-inch wide gold frame. The frame has a little bit of texture in it right there as well. And you can really see from the colors, the way the light was hitting this. So we've got the very bright light area on this side because the light was coming from this side. And then, you know, it's a little darker over here, but this really bright orange color, I think, aside from just how the tree was lit, I just think there were some spots where the leaves were particularly orange there. Now, oak trees, I don't know if you've noticed, but when they turn color, they can be really beautiful. They can have red and orange and gold and yellow, but unlike maple trees, they don't seem to hold their color as long. So I always say you get maybe a day or two with an oak tree, and then the leaves are already brown. And sometimes you see more color in it when the light is hitting it just a certain way, which was the case with this painting. This painting, like I said, I made it towards the end of the season, and it was really cold out there. It was difficult to paint. The light didn't last for very long. It was sunny, but that helped really very little with how cold it was, and you know, I can't wear super thick gloves or I won't be able to use the paintbrush. So my fingers were just cold. And but I did use a paintbrush on, you know, these areas here. And then I did touch over it a little with the palette knife. And then all of this is palette knife, all the texture of the leaves. So a lot of palette knife in this one. Really nice thick paint, and the effect I think is nice and cheerful. I'm just going to show you the texture from an angle here. And that concludes my description of painting of the week number 2. Again, painting of the week number 2 is called Oaken Glow, 12 by 16 inch, and it's in this gold frame. Thanks for watching.